Okay, Christ on a cracker, as they say. Um, I just had somebody on Medium, which you know that I'm on Medium, and that place is a placeholder for a lot of my journalistic writing that I do. Um, just so we're clear, right? I've been being published since I was probably in my early 20s after I got out of the Marine Corps. And I had, you know, I was writing a lot of poetry back then, and I've had poetry published. And then even before I knew what I was going to do with my life, I had like New York University feature me for some reason because some of the students in a master's program were doing some type of like collective of unknown American poets, and I happen to have gotten swooped up in that. And so if you go back in time, you'll probably discover my name being mentioned back then. Anyways, so Medium is a place where I have a lot of my writing, and I just post stuff up there so that it's a placeholder, so that if you're wondering about what is Stephen Piper writing about, what's he been doing, and is he still active writing, you can read any of the articles that I've written for free. Some of them are behind a paywall because that's just the way they like to run it over there. If you don't put things behind a paywall, then they'll quieten your shit. so so there is that. So, but I would recommend having a membership to Medium because there's a lot of most of the journalists in this post newspaper distributed world, most of the people that spent real quality time in journalism and investigative journalism and in essay writing, they're all there. They all decided that's where I want to be. Not fucking Substack, that shit show of a website. Get the fuck out of here with that. And some of these other dumbass places that people want to go because I don't like Medium because they did. Bro, get over it, right? I don't know. That's me being ranty. But anyways, so I had a guy on there this morning like trying to solicit me, like, and I get a lot of solicitations from Medium, but he was trying to solicit me for like dumb business that he's gonna like promote my stuff, and like if I give him this and that and I give him a link and I do all these things, and I'm just like, no, bro, no, I'm not here for that. Papa Bear doesn't do none of that, and we ain't down. You know, I've gotten emails and phone calls from agents and representatives of the people I write about all the time, asking me, you said this about so and so in that article, and we're curious as to why you decided to say that or what basis that you have to say these things. And I just respond back, and then I typically never hear from these people. I've never been served a cease and desist. Well, I have not been served a cease and desist or been asked to take anything down in a very long time. The last time I served a cease and desist was not about my writing. It was about, I used to run an MIRC music server back in 2000 called Antarctica. It was very famous. A lot of people knew about it. And Metallica, Lars Ulrich, sent me a cease and desist, and I have it in a box in my garage somewhere. But, I'm making this video because it's like, one, I really hope some of you guys that see my content go off and read. And if you're going to go off and read and you don't want to read my stuff, just go off and read anything. But I'm going to tell you, I write a lot of really cool, interesting, funny, goofy, thought-provoking things. As much as the stuff that comes out of my mouth might be of interest to you, guess what? The stuff that I write and type up is equally, I think, interesting. That's why I put it up there. And a lot of people fall over themselves, and I get a lot of, how come you're not like writing for like Rolling Stone or Vogue magazine, or you're not writing for the New Yorker or something? And it's like, because I don't want to. And if they offered me the right amount of money, I might. But I'm not fielding those phone calls because I'm in a master's program for clinical mental health. and I'm doing research on teenage girls that the after effects of divorce across their lifespan, and I'm doing like research on autistic children and child abuse. Like I got other things to do, y'all. I got better things to do with my time than monkey around with media types. Does that make sense? Yeah. Anyways, there we go. Be well.